Have you ever been afraid to say what you truly think or what's on your mind because you're afraid of what might come out of your mouth? Hi, I'm Emily and welcome to my channel. There are so many times in my life where I wanted to speak up. I wanted to say what is truly on my mind, but I was too afraid to do it because either I was afraid I was going to snap somebody, I was going to offend somebody, I was going to cause some sort of conflict. And a lot of this stems from childhood, but I always wanted to keep the peace. I hated when people fought. I hated when people raised their voices. And I actually kind of still do, but I've been working on it. And so it's just like, it's just things that I've learned over the years. It's like, because I was also afraid that I would get made fun of with the words that I said. And so there's so many times like either I just kept my mouth shut, I didn't say what I truly should have said, or s- I didn't set my boundaries with people because I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just have to just deal with it and just like move on. And so I always just thought that I had to take what other people said to me as well. And it just like, that's not accurate. And I'm here to like in this video to go through like how to truly own your voice and to not be guilty or not feel ashamed of what's going to come out of your mouth, and to also be able to say it in a powerful way what you truly are thinking and in a calm manner, like because what we say and what we feel really does matter. And it's just like we just us learning how to maneuver life and just do whatever we can. What it really means to own your voice isn't just like speaking up or saying something loudly. It's like you're speaking up, you're setting your boundaries with people. You are speaking your truth no matter if it makes you nervous in the moment or if your voice shakes. This is also, saying like this made me feel this in the moment, or I feel this, or like, can we have a calm conversation where, I just want to tell you what my needs and desires and wants are. Like, is this like, this is some sort of communication that making this, taking a stand for what you believe in and what you feel is right. And but in a calm manner. And this is just like you embracing your true self, your authenticity, your this is going to allow you to not be silent, and you won't have to walk on eggshells anymore because you will be able to speak your truth in a calm manner, but in a way it's like assertive manner and be like, "Hey, look, I don't agree with this and this is why." And we can agree to disagree. And it's like, and it's 100% to say that. Or if let's say someone triggers you, you can be like, "Hey, like right now, this is not, I don't want to have this conversation. Can we have this conversation later?" Or, you got to get up and walk away. So this is still all owning your voice. This is your power. And it's like, because in the moment, then when you do that, you're not allowing yourself to be reactive and snapping at the person. You're just going, nope, this isn't for me. And then be able to and move on. But it's like, it's you setting your boundaries like, no, that's not okay with me, that what you said. Or I don't agree with that. And this is why. Or I don't agree with it. And I really just don't want to get into it. And, it's just like, you got to just be able to take a stand. And that's mainly what's important. And I know this isn't easy. I get it. But, and then like, you might have nerves inside and you might have like that, like fear that you're going to offend somebody or upset somebody. But if you speak your truth, someone might actually respect you more. And, not everybody is going to, and you have to be okay with that. But it's like, and this is even at work. Like, I've had coworkers that come over and just seriously disturb me, or they do things that I'm like, hey, that's not okay for you to do that. Or like, I don't agree. I don't like that. Like, please don't do that. Or if somebody keeps doing something, I'm like, hey, I already told you no. Please stop, and I'm able to now like actually have these conversations with others that for the longest time, I was like, "Oh, I can actually speak out and actually say this to them, but in a calm manner and be like, hey, look, like, this isn't working for me right now. Hey, can we revisit this conversation later? Hey, I'm busy right now. Hey, you come back later? Or can I come, visit you in like an hour or something and we can talk about whatever it is you want to talk about." And it's like, as long as you keep calm and you're able to just clearly say what you want, need, desire, th- then people sorry, people will respect you more, and people will not overstep, with you anymore. Or if they do, you can literally be like, "Hey, look, I already told you last time, like, that doesn't work for me. I doesn't like how what are you not understanding in this moment that I'm trying to say what I'm trying to say, and you're dismissing me?" And you can say this in a calm manner like I just did. And, and then they're like, "Oh, oh," sometimes a lot of times they're like, "Oh, oh, oh, I didn't even realize I was doing that." Or sometimes when they say something mean and you're like, why would you say that to me? Or why would you treat me like that? Because that doesn't make me feel very good. And then they're like, "Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to say it that way." Because sometimes people aren't even aware of what they're doing or saying to you. And so if you're able to take control of yourself and your reactions, then oh my gosh, it's so powerful. Then your conversations are so much easier. You are able to set boundaries with people. You're gonna be like, "Look, that doesn't work for me." And you can just walk away. You don't have to give them a reason why. And if they keep chasing you, you can be like, "Look, I've already told you no. Please stop following me. Please stop doing this. Like, I've already asked you, what are you not understanding? Are you not like getting through? Is this not getting through to you?" Like, because then people don't like that feeling of feeling stupid. So then they're like, "Oh, okay, like okay, I'll leave you alone." Or or they might not. But you just have to be stern with people, over and over and over again until it does land. And you have to be consistent. You can't be like one day be like, "Oh, that's okay." And another day like, "No, that's not okay." Or sorry, "No, that's not okay." Or "No, that's okay." You have to set your boundary. You have to be clear on what your boundaries are so that people don't overstep your boundaries, basically. Oh, and also like this can be like, "This is who I am." And you can say like, I am this kind of person, like or I believe in this, whether you believe in it as well as I do, then that's fine too. Like, it's okay. I'm just telling you what I believe in. And like, please don't try to change my mind because I am very clear on what I believe. So please don't push. You can always, tell them or like in the moment be like, "Hey, like this is what I believe and that's it." And you're like, because I've had people push their agendas or their opinions on me and just really be forceful. And I'm like, "Look, like that, I don't, that's fine. That's what you agree or believe in, but that's not what I believe in. And you're not going to change my mind. So please stop pushing." And, you also, again, you can be like, "Hey, I've already said stop. Please stop. And what are you not understanding?" And you're just got to be very calm, but firm, but, and you just got to do it in a, peaceful manner as much as you can. And sometimes you may have to raise your voice a little bit, like actually owning your voice and be like, "Hey," be like, "Hey," like really loud and be like, "That doesn't work. Stop." Or is sometimes you got to raise your voice a little bit to like snap them out of whatever deal that they're doing with you. And so it's like, I know this isn't easy. Trust me, like it can cause nerves. Like it's just like it's allowing yourself to have conversations with people in a calm manner, but be able to speak your truth. And or you can even or I've even had like conversations where I did not want to have the conversation, but after I had the conversation, then we both were on the same page. And so like it does cause nerves and it can make you nervous, but as soon as you start talking, a lot of times you'll understand that people can be pretty reasonable, or they didn't realize what they were saying to you, or they had an assumption or an idea of you that was incorrect, and you can correct that in the moment. And like I've had that, and I was always surprised and like, "Why would you think that I was like that?" But I didn't say that, but I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, I see what you're thinking, but like, how can I shift that with you? Because I'm like, that's not how I am, or something like that. And so you just gotta be able to truly own your voice and just be like, "No, this is what I believe in and that's it." Why you may have lost your voice is, and this is mostly stemmed from like society, childhood, or past experiences or trauma, or you being like an empath or someone who's very sensitive to other people's feelings or things like that. So it's like, for example, like, as a child, like, if my parents argued or fought in front of me, then I was like, "Wait, wait, 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 I don't like this. Can you guys stop?" But I always, but what we don't realize in that moment that we take on we feel like it's our responsibility or it's our fault that they're fighting. And so then we sit there and go, okay, well, now I got to be a people pleaser, or I got to make sure I keep the peace, or I don't cause conflict or stuff like that. And so, like, and this can be a nasty cycle because you will repeat it over and over and over and over all the way until adulthood, until you really realize that you're doing it, and then you're able to choose in the moment whether accept that as truth or not. And so I know this isn't easy, and it's like learning, why you are silent, or why you are afraid to speak up, or you know a lot of times it's like we were rejected as children, or we were told to stay silent, or we were told to be seen but not heard, kind of thing. And so it's like you felt like you couldn't speak up because, people didn't want you. You were never, you didn't feel seen, heard, or understood, or like you were important or anything. And so you always were like, well, as a child, when you think that you have all this trauma, and then you're like, well, I guess I just can't speak my mind, or if I do, I'm gonna get made fun of, or I'm gonna be yelled at, or I'm gonna be told I'm bad, or I'm not gonna be a good person, or anything like that. And it's that stuff sticks, and it's super nasty because it like grabs a hold of us, and it's hard for us to like realize that that's something that's going on, because if we're not aware of it, then we're just going to continue to repeat that pattern of always staying silent when, you could speak up, or you don't get the job you wanted because you're afraid to say what you really truly deserve, or you don't feel like you're good enough, all this stuff, because all this stuff feels, too scary, or like it's a fear, because you staying silent is like a protection mechanism on your body going, no, if I do this, then something bad's going to happen. But in reality, that's not actually going to happen. That's not actual truth. But we take it as fact, and it's not, because it's just an emotion that we weren't seen, we weren't heard, weren't understood. We were told to be quiet. We were told we were bad kids, whatever it is. It's like that stuff, gets stored as emotions, and then we're just stuck there, not understanding what we did wrong, or we always think it's our fault, or there's so many ways to like go about, or like think about this, because there's so much stuff that goes through our heads. It's like, oh, we're not good enough, and we're not worthy, we don't deserve, to say what we would truly want, or it's too scary to say what we truly want, need, and desire. And so we just, us are sometimes we assume that other people are supposed to understand that what those are, and that's like an impossible task for the other person. So this can like affect, obviously, relationships, like friendships, significant others. And it's just like, if you don't get down to the nitty-gritty of, that you are doing this, then it's really hard to shift. But once you see that, like, this is just an emotional trauma that you can just work through, then it's way more empowering. Also in society, or when we were growing up, that emotions are weakness, and that boundaries were selfish, and what you wanted was a pipe dream, kind of thing. And so it's just like, when you have all this, and you're ignored, you're dismissed, you're shamed for what happened when you were a child, like, all this stuff gets stored in. And then, if you are someone who's like a people pleaser, like I am, I realized that I was always trying to keep the peace. I didn't want to ruffle anyone's feathers. I was always afraid to say what I truly wanted to say. Or, later I was like, oh, well, I could have said that. And then it's like I sit there ruminating on that. And I'm like, man, I should have said that. But I'm like, I didn't have the courage. And so it's like, it's just like it's a really nasty thing. But it's like, oh, and like the other thing is, like, we also were told that anger is a problem, and it's actually not. We all have anger in some form or fashion or whatever, and it's a normal trait for everyone to have at one point. And it's just like an emotion that everyone have. And so it's just like, it's not something to be shameful of. And like I know as children, if we were angry or like threw a tantrum, we were told no, or we were put in the timeout or told we were being bad or whatever it was that, we were told. And so we always thought that anger was a bad thing. And so it's just like, and it's really not. And it's just like emotions are emotions. We all have them and there's nothing wrong with them. Also, as people pleasers, we always ended up being what other people wanted us to be. And we never truly were what we wanted to be. And so now, like, if you're aware of that, then now you can sit there and choose, like, oh, like, I don't want to be what my parents wanted me to be. I don't want to be what society has told me to be. I want to be what I want to be. I want to do what I want to do. And just like, now you will have the power to, use that and move forward with it. And I'll get into more of that later. Signs you're not owning your power. So this is like you always feel misunderstood or that people don't see you or hear you or listen to you. This is also like you don't speak up when you feel hurt or people hurt you or make you upset or say things to you that are not correct or they your push past your boundaries when and you don't speak up. This is also like when you're after the conversation, you sit there like thinking about what the ways you want to say things to other people, in the moment, but you don't actually say them out loud. And then this could be, yeah, it's just like you don't feel like you're able to say what you think or say what you feel. You're also afraid to take up space around people. So means like, creatively at work, like emotionally and physically. You're always like, well, I guess I'll just, be in my little corner kind of feeling that you're like, well, I'll just be like quiet and not say anything. And it's like you kind of end up like sometimes like in physical form, it actually looks like people are like hunching over or like you cower. I don't want to say cower, but it's like you kind of protect yourself in a way. And so that you feel like you're like, oh, I'm not taking up space. So, don't worry about me. And then you say sorry for everything. Oh my gosh, I used to do this all the time. Used to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then somebody was like, stop saying sorry. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then it was like, it was like an automatic thing. If you're constantly say sorry for everything, then like this could be a sign that you have lost your voice and you have not taken your power back. How to own your voice and take your power back. Number one would be to not only become aware of like that you are like this, but also to reconnect with yourself and be like, or reconnect with your truth and be like, okay, so what do I actually want to say, if something like this happens? Or what are the words that I have not said that I want to say? If you want to say something to somebody, like write them out, like maybe put them in a journal or in your voice or like voice note it or, type it in your notes and on your phone and be like, what words do I not say? Or what do I not say to people that step over my boundaries? Or, you know, what communication can I say to somebody that it's clear, like, but with both of us, like what it is that I'm saying. And so it's just like you just, reconnect, like, well, what have I not said? So you're like in the inquiry, but also becoming aware, like, am I actually like a pleaser? Am I, do I constantly stay silent? Do I just let people walk over my boundaries even if I get hurt and I don't say anything? Like, just ask yourself these questions. And honestly, like, what really works is like to journal this out so you can really sit there and see it on paper or get it out. Cause sometimes things will actually come to you while you're writing things out and you're like, oh yeah, I would like to say that to that person, or I'd like to say, that I am powerful or that I don't allow people to be rude to me, like, cause you don't deserve that. Like, it's just like, what is it that you want to say out loud that you don't ever say out loud? Or what do you want to scream out loud? I guess it's like what have you been holding inside? What have you been avoiding? And what have you been suppressing that, that you're like, I just want to say this and just let it out. And so, yeah, just be the inquiry and journal it all out. But that's like the first step to be aware and to just to reconnect with your truth. And, and maybe even ask yourself, um, like, what is it that I want? Like, who do I want to be? What kind of person do I want to be? Like, I know this is like deep, but like when you start asking yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? Then you'll start realizing, like, oh, the way I've been being in the past, this doesn't serve me anymore. And it's so powerful when you realize this. And I get so emotional about it. I don't know why, but I think it's just because I truly want you all to feel what that feels like to take back your power. And because you are a powerful human. You are an amazing person. You have everything inside you. You don't need anything from anybody. You can be your true self at all times without shame, without guilt, without like being afraid of what you say. And it's just like if you do everything in a calm, relaxed manner, you can do anything in this world. And I believe that you can. So I just want you all to know that this is so powerful and so important. I really believe that you all can do it. Next would be heal the root wound. So what I mean by this is like maybe sit there and journal this out with yourself. I mean, ask yourself questions like, when did I start being like a people pleaser, or when did I start, you know, um, keeping quiet? When did I start letting people, step over my boundaries? I mean, it's not like an end all if you can't figure that out, but it's just like start noticing throughout your past. Like, have you always been a people pleaser? Like, have you been a people pleaser since you were 5? Like I've been a people pleaser probably before I was 5, because I was always constantly going like, "Oh, don't fight," or "I don't like that," or "I don't like the conflict," and then I was always telling myself, "Well, I'm always wrong," or "It's always my fault," and like literally, but that was like most of my life. And I'm finally like noticing when I do it. And so then I'm able to correct it in the moment or choose in the moment to not allow that to happen. But me just recently, I started realizing, and it's taken me a few times to figure out that, like, oh, I'm still allowing people to step over my boundaries because sometimes I wasn't even clear with what my own boundaries were. Or, I was too afraid to be like, look, no, that doesn't work for me. And so now I'm like, okay, this baby steps, just got to work on it. But it's like all this stuff's done from childhood, from whether it was society, how we grew up, or through our parents, or whatever trauma experience you experienced as a child. Because we all have some sort of traumas or past programming or limiting beliefs from childhood. And so it's just like you have the opportunity now to work on healing the wound. So now you're able to ask your inner child, your inner self, and be like, what was it that was not, why did you feel like that? Or who made you feel like that? Or, what, um, yeah, it's just like, like, what do you need to feel right now? And allow that inner child, your inner child, to come out and say but you got to be in silence. So now your inner thoughts to go. Whether you're journaling or in meditation, ask yourself like, what are you feeling right now? And he or she could be like, I'm feeling hurt right now. I'm feeling upset. I feel like I got abandoned. I feel like I got no one's listening to me. I feel like I was always had to be quiet. And you just gotta ask yourself, your inner self, and be like, your inner child, and be like, all right, what do you need right now? And like, or what was not said to you back then that you want me to say to you now? And your inner child may say whatever that is, and then you repeat it to your inner child, and be like, I love you, and no matter what you do, I still love you, kind of thing. Or you're safe because I'm, you're creating the safety for them, if that makes sense. Hopefully this makes sense, because I know it seems a little odd and a little weird, and I know it's like it's different than how we were taught, but it really works because when you actually tap into like what your inner child needs, then a lot of times you can heal all of this trauma and all these issues in the moment, because then you don't need anything from the external. You just need to work on your inside inner child, or what they need or what you need. And if they need to feel loved, then be like, I love you. Like, and just like, a lot of people never heard that, as a child. And, sometimes like just saying you are loved, you don't have to do anything to be loved kind of thing. So, but it's like just getting into the depths of what your inner child either wants or needs, or like what was missing, and give it to your inner child, because you need that for your healing. And it's just super super powerful. And it's, if you want to ask, your inner child, like, what was that instance or that experience that we had as a child, that, I am the way I am, what was that experience? And, it might not come right now, but like it may come, when you ask yourself that question, it could like in a few days later, it could be like, oh my gosh, it was with this point, it was this time, it was this experience, because there's a lot of things as a child that I remember very vividly. And I was like, man, that was the instance that I always had to be right. Or that was the instance that I said that, I have to take control of my life always, um and I have to protect myself, and I didn't feel safe, and stuff like that. And so it's like you have the opportunity now to work on healing that wound, that inner child, what your inner child really truly needs. The next step would be to speak in safe places first. So this would be, like whether it's with your family, with your friends, support groups, therapy, coaches, and it's like really like starting to practice. Because even if it's just role playing and practicing it with someone or your significant other, and you're working through it, like it still makes an impact, because then you're like, oh, I can say this. It like gives you the courage to say it. Or if you need to work it out in the journal, like you're like, next time this happens, I'm gonna say this, or stuff like that. And it's just like it's it's allowing yourself to feel safe in the moment to say whatever it is that you want to say, um without the, so that if somebody who you don't know that well does that, you can be like, no, 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 or say what you truly want, or need, or what's not okay for you. And so it's just getting real clear, like I feel like this when you say this, or I believe in this, like whatever this is. And then it's like, I just need support around this, or I yeah, I'm totally blanking, sorry. It's just like, what in the moment, like, do you need to say in your journal or to somebody that you're like, hey, look, I don't agree. Like, let's just agree to disagree. And or if you want to tell your point, like, do you want to hear my side of it? Or because some people, even if you disagree, say you disagree, they may not want to hear your point, but maybe you'd be like, hey, do you want to hear my side of why I don't agree? Or, if you want to go into it. If not, you could be like, look, I don't agree, and let's agree to disagree. And a lot of times that's sufficient. And so, but it's like you're just being able to say your piece in the moment, and allowing you to say the words out loud, so that you now feel that content, the confidence, the freedom now to say what you truly feel and you need in the moment. Oh, another one would be like, I need a moment to process this. Can you give me a moment? Or like, hey, let me think about it and then I'll get back to you. Stuff like that. Like if you're allowing yourself to say those out loud, then we won't have to deal with that conflict, because you're like, look, I just want to think about it, or I need a moment to process it, and stuff like that. And I know this is really powerful, because then let's say you're triggered in the moment, or you're upset and you don't want to say something incorrect, you can just say that, and it's like poof, like you can come back to it later and let yourself calm down. It's just it's an opportunity to say something without being rude, but it also it gives you an out in the moment when you might need one. So I mean, this does work, I promise. The next step would be actually moving your body. I know this sounds funny, I know this sounds weird, but you got to move your body. So if you have all these emotions and all this stuck energy and all this, I don't know, you just kind of feel blah. Like you got to move your body. Like this can be, you can shake your body out. You can go stretch. You can go walk. You can dance it all out. But you don't want to keep all this stored emotions or frustration in your body. And like if like if you feel tense, like you got to move. You got to change your state. You got to, um, yeah, you got to be able to flow or whatever, or I don't know, just go crazy. Go crazy for a minute. Scream it out. I don't know. Like just like allow your body to calm down or like move through the expressions and move through the emotions so they're not stuck or stored energy. So you don't want them stuck in your body. And this could be like going for a walk in nature, just getting outside and just separating yourself from whatever it is. Or this could be yeah, I mean, this could be jumping on a trampoline. This could be jumping, jumping jacks. I don't know. This could be anything like that. It can be dance. It doesn't have to be anything like aggressive. It just need to move your body, especially, if you're having, journaling this stuff out or having intense conversations, you just gotta sometimes shake it out. You know how dogs, when they like fight or argue, and then they shake it off later. That's kind of like humans. We still need to shake it out or move it through our bodies because then it's not stored. And honestly, we could take a lesson from dogs or cats because that's what they do. They shake it off. And so it's just allowing your body to process it and get it out because you don't want it stuck and you don't want it stored. And it's super powerful through movement. So it's definitely powerful, I promise. Also for movement, like this can be like doing the power stance of like standing tall and like chest up and like you're like, no, I'm this is gonna be me. So you have like this confidence and you take deep breaths and like if you're having a tense conversation, you just go, no, and then you're like in the moment, you're just like, let me breathe and breathe it out. And then just like be able to have the conversation. And like it gives you this like change of state. So you're not like tense and curled up and like hunched over. And it just allows you to like, come out of your, curled up, stored tension state. And so like you just got to bring your shoulders up when you're having conversations. You just got to be like, okay, no, this isn't gonna bother me. Or you stand up, like if let's say you're sitting at your desk, somebody upsets you, and or you didn't speak your boundaries were to somebody, and you're sitting down, you're like, I said no, you're not listening to me. You just gotta get up and walk away, or stand up and be like, look, I said no. And that way, it's because it's like a change of state. It kind of shocks them, and they're like, oh, ooh, like, oh, maybe I should move. It's like, or stop, whatever. Because when you kind of create this like presence, this commanding presence when you stand up, or sometimes if you got to go, hey, like, or do some weird hand movements. I don't know, whatever works for you. Like, I know this sounds so weird, but it works, I promise. Another step is stop apologizing for being you or existing. So this is like, don't stop apologizing and stop saying like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. 'Cause it sounds in a way weak. And so it's like you don't want to be weak. You want to be commanding and present and be like, if some communication gets misunderstood, you can be like, hey, let me clarify what I actually mean. Or hey, this doesn't work for me. Or sometimes you don't have to say anything at all and you just don't justify anything by saying anything. You don't have to say sorry, nothing. You just to be like, okay. And, like something like that, like you don't say I'm sorry. I mean, unless you offended somebody, be like, hey, look, I didn't mean to hurt you in that way. But it's like, but like other than that, like don't apologize for existing. Like speak your voice, be powerful. You are powerful. Like you don't need anything but yourself. Like you have everything you need inside. You just gotta like create that presence and that commanding presence inside you. And the last step is like say what you mean, not what they want to hear. And so it's just like, yeah, no apologies. Just be like, speak your truth. Let your full expression come out. Let your voice be said. or say or say what you truly, mean. Yeah, I mean, like, just do it in a calm manner, and that's it. Like, you don't have to apologize, you don't have to justify, you don't have to let anybody walk all over you or, like, abuse you in any form or bully you or harass you. Like, you don't have to take any of that. You could be like, "Look, this isn't deser or I don't deserve this. I don't need this right now. I'm more powerful than that. I don't need you to be beating me up right now." You could actually tell them that. And sometimes they might be like, what do you mean I'm beating you up?" Like, then they're like, "Ooh, ooh, what do you mean?" And so it's just like it's sometimes like a state change again. And so it's like sometimes you gotta snap people out of what they're saying to you or repeat back to me. "So you think I'm blah blah blah?" Or you're basically telling me that I can't do my job or whatever. And then they're like, "Well, wait, 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 I didn't mean it like that." And they're like, "Well, that's how it came across to me." And so it's like you just gotta speak your truth, but in a calm manner and not reactive. And just it's like say what you truly mean, not not like, well, it's kind of like this. If you're kind of wavering, stand firmly in what you want to say, what you mean, and like you will go far, I promise. And it's baby steps. You just got to take one thing at a time and you will get there, I promise you. And you are so powerful and you are going to be so much more powerful when you do this. What truly happens when you start owning your voice? When you start owning your voice, you don't betray yourself. You become the full expression of you. You become fully self expressed. You become confident. You become content because you're like, "Oh my gosh, I just said that. Woo." Like in your head, you're like, "Oh my gosh, I finally set my boundaries. Holy crap, that's amazing." Like you'll actually feel empowered. You'll feel a difference in even if it's uncomfortable in that moment, if once you step past that uncomfortable zone, you will see the growth and the power on the other side, and then you'll have more confidence to do it over and over again after that. And, like, you don't have to worry about what everyone else is thinking of about you. Like, what you want, what you need, what you desire, your voice, all of that matters. And, like, it's you just gotta be your true self, be you for you, be authentically you. Live your truth. Don't let anyone ever suppress it. Don't let anybody tell you anything other than what you feel like you deserve and what you are meant to do and what you are meant to be. Like be clear on who you want to be and you're like, "Nope. I don't agree with you. I'm this way and I'm proud of myself." But it's just like you just got to step into that like owning your voice, be confident, just be expressive, do baby steps, but like do this a little bit at a time and you'll start to empower yourself. And because you personally are doing that, what you don't actually know is you're actually empowering other people to do the same because then they're like, "Oh," because even for me at work, like I started noticing once I'm starting to set more my boundaries and be like, "No, that doesn't work for me," or "I didn't feel good when you said that." Then people are like, they sit there and go, "Huh," and then they're like, "Well, maybe." You're probably in their head, they're probably going, "Well, maybe I could do that." Oh. But it's like it gives you because you're doing it, it gives someone else encouragement to do it. Or because you're doing it, it gives someone else be like, "Huh, well, maybe I'm letting other people, like, cross my boundaries," kinda thing. And just you allow other people to think is so it's like when you start with you, it causes a ripple effect out to other people, and you will be more content, happy, joyful, and you will see such a empowering difference in yourself, and I know you can do it. I know you can. I'm so proud of you. I know you can. Oh, and also because you are doing that, you will begin to attract people that will see you, love you, uh, respect you, that see you, hear you, understand you for the way you are. And you don't have to worry about those other people who don't respect you or don't see you, don't hear you. But that's on them. That's their fault. Like that's their crap that they have to deal with. Like you will see like the people that you are meant to be with or around, and you will see a difference in all aspects of your life through work, relationships, you going after your dreams, whatever you want to do, like having conversations, like getting better with communication. And it's just like you will see a massive difference, I promise. Like ask yourself, what's one thing that's been holding you back that you finally want to say? Or whose voice have you been silencing? Yours or someone else's? This can go both ways. And then just like maybe just like say one thing that you were scared to say yesterday. Like even if it's just to yourself. Or maybe actually like have a conversation with somebody. I think that's super powerful. And like just do baby steps here and there. And just like work through the nerves, like push past those fears. Like I know you can do this because I've personally have done it and I was pretty scared to do this myself. But once I started doing this, I was so empowered to keep going because I was like, no, I mean, like I can actually say this in a calm manner, and I can finally like speak my truth or what I need, desire, or what I felt like in the moment when somebody upset me, and I'm able to finally do that without like snapping at somebody or being like, no, like just like it gives you the empowerment to do this with all your relationships. You will see such an amazing difference. You will see such a calm and ease in your your body and your voice, and you will release all those fears and that anxiety and the emotions that you've been holding on to for so long. It's like an affirmation you could do would be like, I trust my voice, I honor my truth, and I will no longer stay silent. Like, say that to yourself. And like maybe do mirror work where you stand in front of the mirror and you say that out loud in the mirror. But it's just like, I know you can all do it. I have so much faith. And let's just do this. Come on, we can all do this together. And if you need any support, let me know in the comments below. And I am here for you. And yeah, let's go. Please like and share this video with someone who has been silencing their own voice or not owning their own voice. Like, send this to somebody because, like, this is so important. We all at some point, like, or even still, like, have some part of our voice that we have not owned. And like or we haven't allowed our full self-expression to come out. And this is so powerful. And so, yeah, if this resonates with you, please subscribe to my channel and share it with other people. I really would love to just get this out to as many people as I can. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. I love you all, and let's rise like a phoenix.